Shalom, brother and sister truth seekers. Pray for me. I just made a 25-minute analysis of the Sundial data results, and I'm having to do it on my phone instead of my computer because my computer's on its deathbed, and I guess I haven't figured everything out yet. But I just spent 25 minutes breaking down all this data, and I realized as I checked the recording that the microphone wasn't on. So all you can see in that other video is the screen moving around and no commentary. So it's past midnight right now. Things have been very busy and exhausting, but I guess I'm going to try and do it again, but keep it much shorter this time. Some blessing for you, I guess. So now that I've had a dry run through this, let's see if I can summarize it quickly. So I sent some screen captures through this data on email and to various people, but the comments were cut off, so I'm going to pan around so you can read that real quick. So I'm just going to show you this green section is very important. It summarizes kind of the results in a nutshell, and then everyone's data is there, and here are the comments. We'll just pan over. Unfortunately, I don't know how to share this on my phone. Maybe I can figure out how to share the Excel spreadsheet so you can see that, and I can't zoom out so you can see these comments next to the people. But anyway, talk you through this real quick. So this map has time zones labeled across the bottom of it in letter format. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G is how I called the time zones out. But if you look at this green section here, from all the data that came in this year, it looks like time zone F was where time may have begun this year. And things look slightly different on my phone than they did on the computer. That other line should have only been on time zone F. It's a little tighter than what's shown there. But in a nutshell, the first day of spring to the left of time zone F seems like it would have fallen on the 20th this year. And then as the sun continues to travel west and crosses that man-made international date line, the Gregorian date would change for the first day of spring to the 21st. So then Australia's first day of spring would be on the 21st, Africa would be on the 21st, South America would be on the 21st, and the eastern United States would be on the 21st. This is the first year I've ever seen the Creator's international date line land on a land mass. Usually it's been out in the ocean or something, and it just hasn't been too important. But it's falling right in the middle of a landmass like this kind of makes it a little tricky. But I just wanted to encourage people to be at peace with the decision you make, whether you're going to have the first day of your year be one day ahead or one day behind because of the start of this solar cycle. If that somehow affects you, be at peace about your final decision, because in reality, the Creator is actually spending close to 48 hours, if not a little more, possibly a little more, each Sabbath or holy day, because if you it's the difference between luminary time and clock time. But if the clock and the luminary time started for someone just west of the Creator's true international date line in, say, the western United States, for example, they would need 24 hours for their Sabbath cycle. And by the time that 24-hour cycle was nearly completed, the sun would have traveled all the way around and start giving sunrise to the eastern United States. And it would, for them, then their 24-hour cycle would begin. And so what it ends up being, from our limited perspective on Earth, at our locations, it's only a 24-hour cycle, but from the creator's perspective, it actually ends up being he's available for that special fellowship for close to a 48-hour, if not a little more than 48-hour period. So if you live in this time zone where the transition happened, make the decision that you feel the most peace about, and I really would feel peace about it, because I think the Creator sees that we're all trying and we're learning, and he's going to honor that, and one way or another, he's actually going to be there in any situation, actually. So for those who live right next to the international date line. But so anyway, I didn't have everyone's data shown all the way to the bottom, so I'll pan one more time so you can see the comments for everyone. I think that's about it. And I'm just going to talk about a few people's results to kind of highlight things for people who might not have much experience with sundials. I'm going to give an experienced breakdown of this. Not to say my opinion is you should just hang your hat on what I say. I include the contact information of the people who collected this data, so if you have any questions, you can get in touch with them. Some of them like to remain anonymous, but if you have questions about their data, I'll find a way to get you in touch with them. You can email me at AVoiceOfTruthAndLove@gmail.com or leave a comment below the video. Also, along the top of the screen, if you notice, there's this Facebook group titled Solar Tracking Observations Converting the Creator's Times via Genesis 1:14. And I've been posting all the videos and pictures from people's truth-seeking efforts to that group, so feel free to join that group to check out the data as well. So I'm just going to talk about the highlights. I think the first really good data set, there are 3 good data sets that I'm going to talk about. Ooh, I didn't know it could do that. We'll just ignore that blue line. Okay, good, it went away. No, it's still there. Okay, anyway, there were 3 good data sets that I think we can focus on that confirmed what we see here. But congratulations and hallelujah for everyone who made an effort this year. It was so wonderful to see so many people trying to collect sundial data this year, and I think there was a learning curve for a lot of them, but I know it put a big smile on the Creator's face, and I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone trying it again next year and learning, feeling much more confident about all the data they collect. Because though there were a good number of people trying this year, a lot of people I was hearing from weren't really sure what to make of their data because of things like not collecting those early morning and late evening points, and maybe using a fat marker to make their marks, and different learning curve things like that. But I'm gonna just briefly talk about the data sets that I think seem to be fairly, the people who collected them are pretty confident, and based on my experience, I can't see a reason why anyone should doubt what they're saying about their data sets. And so we'll start with, if you look at the top of the screen, we'll start with the gentleman in Alberta, Calgary, Alberta. And he collected data on the 20th and the 21st. And he believed he was seeing spring curvature in that data set. And he had a pretty big data set, a good spread of data, early morning points, late evening points, and a tall enough nail or sundial screw that it just had a good spread of data. So I think that was a good confirmation that he was seeing spring curvature by the 20th. So that would mean the straight line would have actually been on the 19th. And he was working with another brother in Montana who actually did think he was seeing the straight line on the 19th, but he wasn't. I don't think he was 100% sure. If you look at these comments, let's see if I can do this. Oh, I can't. But second one down from the top was the other brother that thought he was actually seeing the straight line on the 19th. There's a video I shared to the Facebook group I mentioned above that was put out by the Covenant Calendar Classroom YouTube channel, and it's a summary video of their Sundial results in their group. And at 44 minutes into the video, he discusses his data for the 19th. It didn't sound like he was 100% sure, but it was pretty close. Like, I think he had a pin that wasn't exactly on center, but it was very, 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 very darn close to center. And so, but definitely the gentleman in Alberta was seeing that spring curve, and he had good data. So, and we'll look at the pictures of these highlights here in a minute. The other good witness, I think, this year came from Alan in Australia, and he did get the straight line on the 20th, and he got early morning and late evening points, and he had sharp data points, and I see no reason why that data shouldn't be accepted as a straight line. He did try to collect data on the 21st as well, and thought he was seeing it on the 21st, but unfortunately he only collected like 4 to 5 hours of data on the 21st. That's him at the bottom. That's the comment for his data on the bottom of the screen at the moment. So when you only collect half a day of data like that, you can, like, if you check out some of my videos, you'll hear me mention this. Like, it unfortunately, if you only collect half a day of data, it's very likely it will appear like a straight line, because you get the most curvature in the early morning and the late evenings. And so when you only get like somewhere halfway or between, it can look straight. So I would say that he made a great confirmation on the 20th, and I would stick with that. The other witness that I have a lot of confidence in, I guess, is the data I collected. And I'm thankful that I had clear enough skies to get the data, but I was able to collect 3 days of data on the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st, and I saw the winter curve, the straight line, and the spring curve. So that gave me a lot of confidence for my specific location. So with those 3 data points, as we look back up at the map up here, that's really all we need to kind of confirm the approximate location of the Creators International dateline. So you have the gentleman in Alberta, Canada, just to the west of where that Creators International dateline would have fallen, and you have me just to the right of it, and then we have a few between in Australia that seemed to be confirming that timeline. There was another witness in Africa as well. I'm not sure if she had some questions. She was, I think she was very confident she was seeing the reverse curve on the 21st, and maybe she only got half a day of data on the 20th, but she was definitely sure she was seeing curvature on the 21st. So all these other, well, not all of them, I guess, but most of these other witnesses seem to line up with that sequence that seems to be coming from the 3 witness we took a close look at. So now let's take a quick look at their data, if I can figure this out. Okay, so this is the witness from Alberta, Canada, and you can see he's got 2, if you look at the right side of the screen, he's got a board that he's using for his straight edge, and at the top of that view, he's got 2 arrows pointing to each other, which is, I guess, where his mark was in the morning under that whiteboard. and you can see the marks close to us. They're not on the board. They're off of that straight edge. So that looks like a pretty good indication of curvature to me. This is the brother's data from Australia. Again, he's using a very sharp, he's using push pins to mark the tip of his shadow, which is a very precise point. And he got points as early as 7:45 a.m. and as late as 5 p.m. And it looks like with a setup like that, so accurate, I would say it looks like his data is pretty much right on that line. So it's a tough call, but I that's what I'm seeing from this data. But definitely feel free to weigh in on your thoughts. I think he thought he was seeing that too. Like I said, he thought he was also seeing it on the 21st, but didn't unfortunately have enough data, I think, to really get a good confirmation of that. But this is good data, and I think this points to his straight line being seen on the 20th, which was made the first day of spring in Australia on the 21st. Oops. How about that? So then my data, and unfortunately I didn't take an overall picture, but if you jump on my YouTube channel, you can see videos breaking down all of this. But so this was my first data point on the 20th at the D mark. Here's the last mark of the day. So that first mark was around 8 a.m. Last mark was around 7 p.m. And then the midday mark is, you see that cluster of marks. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a mark all the way to the left of that cluster, and it has a little D kind of in the upper corner above the line. That's the mark we're interested in, and it looks like that line is threading the needle there. So, and I had another board. Whoops. Yeah, technology is tricky for me these days. If I didn't mention, my computer's on its deathbed, so I've had to learn to try and do all of this on my phone. But anyway, so yeah, that's I guess that's the summary of everyone's data. Please feel free to leave comments or reach out to these people or let me know if you want to reach out to anyone in particular to discuss their data. And I'll find a way to get you in touch. I just want to encourage everyone who did it this year. Good job. So exciting. Hallelujah. And looking forward to next year. And if anyone is going to try this, please do. The more the better. Some people can be clouded out. And so, I mean, it's just good. The more people doing it, the better. And, you shouldn't rely on other people to do it, because the time may come when you may need to do it for yourself. And there's nothing better. There's no better peace you can feel than when you make the confirmation yourself. Sometimes we do have to rely on others because we have clouds or something, but if you can, definitely try and make the confirmations yourself. So with that, feel free to reach out if you have any questions or thoughts. Shalom, and may Abba bless you as you continually seek out his truth and love with a pure heart. And now I get to figure out how to try and stop this video.